my channel. In today's video we're going to talk about Voldemort and his horcruxes. So I like horcruxes. I don't want to make any, don't worry, but I really like them, and I wanted to talk a bit more about horcruxes, from the first one being created, who was killed to create them, how horcruxes are created. Yeah, so we're going to talk about horcruxes. So if you want to hear more about Voldemort and his horcruxes, then keep on watching. And if this is the first time you're seeing this face, hello and welcome to my channel. If you would like to become a part of Poppet with us, please click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. Why did I say that like that? All my social medias are linked in the description of this video. Go see what I'm up to on those. And guys, I'm trying my hardest to get to my next big milestone of 2,000 subscribers. So I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button because I am the chosen one. And also I would like to give a massive thank you to my Patreons. They help me keep this channel running just that little bit more. If you'd like to know any more about Patreon, that is also linked in the description of this video. Go check it out. If you think it's for you, then come join us. Let's talk dark magic. Okay, so as we all know, a horcrux is created by manually putting part of the soul into an object. But first, one must split their soul into two, keeping one part in themselves, one part of their soul inside themselves, and the other part inside an object, making it a horcrux. To split one's soul, it has to be done by dealing out a very evil act, such as murder. That evil act completely rips a soul into two. Of course, Voldemort had to go to the extreme and wanting to split himself into 7 pieces of soul, if that made any sense whatsoever. He actually did 8. The 8th one was an accident. You'll know, but we'll get onto it. But how did he create these horcruxes? Who did he murder? Well, let's talk about it. On June 13th, 1942, Voldemort created his first horcrux. Back then, he was known as Tom Riddle, and he was only 16 years old when he committed his first devilish act. On that date, he murdered Moaning Myrtle, also known as Myrtle Warren. Myrtle Warren, isn't it? He murdered her on the first floor girls' bathroom using the basilisk, and was then able to split his soul, putting part of it into his diary. Question: he didn't commit the murder himself. It was the basilisk that committed the murder. So how did that split his soul? Can somebody please elaborate on this for me? Because you have to commit it. You have to commit that murder to be able to split your soul in two. You have to commit the act. He didn't commit the act. Whether he set the basilisk on her or not, he did not murder her. He was, part of the murder. He was a witness to it, and he was in the plan, but he didn't personally murder her himself. So how does that count? How does it work? I don't understand. In August 1943, Voldemort, also known as Tom Riddle back then, went to kill his father in his own home, sending another piece of his soul into a ring, which was formerly owned by Marvolo Gaunt, which is the younger Riddle's grandfather and also a descendant of Salazar Slytherin himself, thus creating the second Horcrux. He also killed his grandmother and his grandfather on that same day in the same house when he went to kill his father. Question: so yes, he killed his father and was able, through committing that murder, was able to create the second Horcrux. What is wrong with me today? Was able to create the second Horcrux by putting part of his soul into that ring because he killed his father. But he also killed his grandmother and grandfather. So that would be 2 more acts. So that was 3. 3 devilish evil acts happened that day, but yet he only split his soul into another piece. Obviously, he knew by now that he could split his soul again, because obviously we all know he questioned Slughorn that day about he was questioning whether he could do it into 7, but he knew that he could split it in more than 2. He could split it more than 2. So why did he not use the fact that he killed his grandmother and grandfather on that same day and have 2 more objects. It was evil altogether anyway, but I find that even more evil that he just thought, well, they can just go, but I won't waste my soul on them. We'll go kill more people. So he's creating more murders than he really actually needs to. Sometime in 1946, month or date not known, but sometime in 1946, Tom Riddle murdered Hepzibah Smith, making part of his soul then go into another, what he created as a Horcrux, which was Helga Hufflepuff's cup. So Helga Hufflepuff's cup was the 3rd Horcrux. Tom Riddle literally lured Hepzibah into a death trap. Literally. He befriended her, made her feel pretty, he, flattering comments, really befriended the woman. A few days after luring her in and making her feel that she had met this really good friend, he spiked her cocoa with a poison, killing her, stealing the Hufflepuff cup, and making it the 3rd Horcrux. He is evil! I don't have any questions for this one. This one was pretty straightforward. Okay, so an unknown date between 1946 and 1979. Tom Riddle murders an unknown Muggle woman in an unknown location, making the 4th Horcrux, which was the Slytherin locket. Question! I don't just want to know who this Muggle woman is. I want to know why he picked this Muggle woman. Where did he get the Slytherin locket from? I need to know! Again, somewhere between 1946 and 1979, dates are unknown, Voldemort or Tom Riddle, I think he was Voldemort by now, hang on. Tom Riddle was hiding in the forest of Albania. Tom Riddle murdered a local peasant and put part of his soul into the Ravenclaw diadem, because as we all know, the forest of Albania is where Helena Ravenclaw hid her mother's diadem. She stole her mother's diadem, ran away to the forest of Albania to hide and hid it. What I don't get is, what's the coincidence in that Voldemort, Tom Riddle, was in that forest at the same time? Did he see her do it? I'm guessing when she hid it, she kind of hid it underground, or it was in a tree, wasn't it? It wasn't going to be on show. She wasn't just going to plunk it somewhere. She was going to hide it in some foliage or something. But Voldemort was able to find it. Tom Riddle at the time. Tom Riddle was able to find the Ravenclaw diadem, so he obviously must have been about when she hid it. That is bad luck, Helena. So the Ravenclaw diadem became the 5th Horcrux. The 6th Horcrux was apparently created in 1994. The 6th Horcrux is Nagini. I do have a question. How did Voldemort find Nagini? We all know Nagini's backstory from Fantastic Beasts. But how did he come across Nagini? I will have to look that one up. But Nagini was created as a Horcrux by Voldemort when he killed Bertha Jorkins. Jorkins, not Jonkins. Oh my day, Susie. Okay, so Nagini was kind of an afterthought. Voldemort really believed that the number 7 was a magical, mystical number. That's why he wanted 7 Horcruxes. So Nagini became the 6th one because obviously part of his soul was still inside him, which would make the 7th. So basically, Voldemort pulled important information for himself out of Bertha, then decided he had no further use for her. So obviously, what do? We killed her! Voldemort! My gosh, you are so brutal! Then, of course, Harry Potter himself was made into the 8th Horcrux. Obviously, Voldemort only wanted 7, but Harry Potter was made the 8th one by an accident. Harry became a Horcrux because his mother's love completely protected Harry from the killing curse. The protection of that love was that strong that Voldemort's, not only did the killing curse not work on Harry that Voldemort performed, it also backfired, destroying Voldemort's body and all his power, accidentally giving Harry not only part of his soul, but also part of his power. We all know Harry can talk Parseltongue, and we know that when Voldemort died, that Harry lost that ability to talk Parseltongue. I do have a question that has literally just popped in my mind though. If anybody can answer this, let me know. I'm going to do a bit more research on this actually, because I have found this very interesting. When Voldemort's spell backfired, when the curse backfired, and obviously it says it destroyed his body and destroyed his power, he didn't die altogether because of the horcruxes. His soul is in different pieces. Obviously you have to get the horcruxes first before you kill Voldemort. Did Voldemort actually kill that soul that was inside himself when the curse backfired? So there was only 7 horcruxes. Do you see what I mean? He created 7, but obviously the 8th was in himself. Obviously Harry was known as made of the 8th horcrux. But when Voldemort's spell backfired, did that kill part of his soul? So is there only 7 horcruxes? I never thought about that until now. Let's have a chat in the comments. You know I love it when you do. Let me know if you found anything else. Sorry. What is wrong with me with words today? But I absolutely love horcruxes. I don't think an awful lot is explained about the horcruxes. That's why I loved the fact that I was going to do this video. I wanted to look up the horcruxes. I wanted to look up about them a bit more. I knew obviously which ones were destroyed first to last, but I didn't necessarily know, you know, which ones were created first, how they were created. So I really enjoyed researching this. And yeah, let me know, guys, if you enjoyed listening to this. Did you know much of it? Can you add any bits to it? Because, you know, I've done so much research, but you might know other things. Let me know in the comments, because I love to know about this. But yeah, if you can answer any of my questions, I'd love to know in the comments. I hope you've learned something new from this, because this is why I love doing my chats. I like researching into Harry Potter a bit more, and obviously different characters and things like that, their backgrounds and everything. You know I love it. And you know I love it when you talk to me. But yeah, guys, that is the end of today's video. Please give it a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because it helps me more than you know, and I will speak to you in my next video. Bye, Poppets.